Hey everybody, Dan with Grit Overland. We're excited to share with you the new 2026 Link 148 all-wheel drive S2, that's a seat 2, sleep 2, on the Ford Transit chassis. And we thought, what better place to do it than sunny California in Alabama hills? Let's check this thing out.
Take me back to the riverside, counting days, passing time. Yeah, we were young and so alive. Now it feels like another life. So can you tell me a different story? 'Cause the one I got, you know it's getting old. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more, I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more, I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more.
As we progress through this tour, you guys will notice we've got some dust in the van, there's gonna be some mud on the outside and some dirt. We are actively on a 2-week road trip going down to our Grit together, and we wanted to show you this thing in the wild. So you're gonna see clothes in the cubbies and surf stuff and wetsuits and all kinds of jazz. So bear with us as we show you this, but I think it helps you move in and see how you would store your things here. Again, there's one other thing I wanna point out. This is a base stock Link 148 all-wheel drive. You can add extra storage, you can add lift kits, lighting, reading lights, all kinds of stuff, but what you're gonna see here is not necessarily built out with the additions you might add to make the van exactly how you want it. As you can see here, starting from Ford, we have a very well-appointed chassis. It has blind spot notification, lane assist, adaptive cruise control, 360 cameras, backup cameras, front camera, wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. This chassis comes from the factory very well loaded. So just like any of your very nice cars you would get, this comes that way as well. As you can see, I'm sitting in swiveled seats. These swiveled seats are also 10-way power and they're heated. So we're trying to do every option we can to make your very nice van right from the start. The other thing I'd like to point out right from the beginning is this van is ready to adventure right from the factory, even if you just go with the base model and you decide to wait on any of the options you'd like to add. It comes right from the factory with window covers for every single window. These are blackout insulated window covers. As you can see, we've got this one up right now to keep the sunlight off of me a little bit. It also has an induction cooktop. You've got your shore power plug. You have your water fill pressure regulator and winterizing pressure regulator. So really what we've done with this van is if you just bought a Link 148 all-wheel drive and drove it off the lot, you'd be able to go get your clothes, your bedding, and some groceries, and then cookware, and you're ready to go for adventure. One of the things that people always tell us when they finally get into a Link from Grit Overland is that it feels so open. And oftentimes we have to point out to people that even though this is so open and wide and has tons of hangout space, all of the things that you need for everyday life are there. An indoor shower, an outdoor shower, and a toilet. We all know elimination is the name of the game, so let's talk toilets. You have a toilet compartment in here. In our van, every van Link that comes from Grit Overland comes stock with a Dometic toilet, the 971 Thetford. It's a small toilet, fits in this compartment. What I love to point out is, and you'll see it from right here, is that I don't have that toilet in here. That toilet's okay. I don't prefer to use it, and I bet a lot of you also have a preference on what toilet you prefer. So although this door is fairly small, there's another door right here, and what we've done is created a big open space that you can fit any one of a many number of toilets that fit your preference and your lifestyle and how you prefer to eliminate. I'll just point out the toilet that I use. This is a collapsible bucket. It's not pretty, it's not fancy, but it works great for me and it saves a ton of space. And then I just use bags that are biodegradable and they can just go into the landfill, no big deal. They just add bacteria to the landfill and break stuff down faster. One of the things I love about it is how slim it is and just fits right in there. But again, I like to point out that because I've chosen a slim toilet and this compartment is so big, I can put a lot of other stuff in there. Moving across the galley from the storage compartment for the toilet and access to the shower, which we'll point out here shortly, you've got a 110 outlet, and then you have very simple analog buttons for your lights. And then you've also got like awning lights, water pump switch, and those switches. One of the things I like to point out to people is that is not fancy. It's very simple. And what you'll find throughout the link is that we shoot for simple because simple is often much more reliable. So yes, could we go super fancy? Could we go tons of touchscreens and all of those things? Absolutely. We have the ability to put that technology into the van. What we've shot for instead is shooting for a 5-star customer experience, because the last thing you want is something broken when you're out on the road. What you want is it to work perfectly. We want the same thing for you, and we work very hard to do our best to make that happen. Also in this space, you have a butcher block flip-up countertop. The whole butcher block, as you can see here, goes all the way to the back, and the countertop are both made out of maple. They're lightweight and super sturdy. It's all coated with food-safe coating and really easy to maintain. The other thing I like to point out is simple. It's not often noticed, but you saw how I had to pop that off of there pretty solid. We put magnets down under here so that your countertop isn't rattling when you're going down washboard gravel roads. The next thing you have here is a Dometic flip-up faucet here. I like to turn it a little bit to the side, makes washing dishes really nice. You've got hot and cold water mixing valve in there as well. And then when you don't need your sink, you've got a really nice flat surface here for extra countertop space as well. I want to draw your attention to this. Now that we're inside the van, you can see how open this is. We use fabric that has a waterproof backer on it, but it's light colored, so it really opens up the space. And then of course, we've done things like hide away the toilet, hide away the shower. As you can see now, the bed is folded up, and it is a Murphy bed, so it gets up out of the way as well. So you have a huge open alley down the middle of this van for boards, whatever, motorcycles, plywood, drywall, whatever kind of thing you can use this as. It becomes a really big, pretty open truck. Also here, this is a big deal for us in our design process and making a camper van that is a lot more durable and becomes a generational RV. So this white plastic is actually UV stabilized marine plastic. It's not gonna fade over time. It's not gonna swell and change shape really bad. And this is gonna last for years. The other piece here is, if you can see this, these little black bolt heads here and here, some down here as well. All of these structures are built on welded aluminum frames. These are not wood cabinets with wood screws or tech screws or finish nails and glue, where those joints can often creak and flex and change over time. This is an aluminum structure with bolts into threaded holes. This is huge. It's lightweight, it's super durable, and it's quiet while you're cruising down the road. So this is a big piece that we talk about a lot, and that is, people don't often think about it, especially if it's their first camper van or first RV. If you've owned one, you know about the one-man band in the back, and this type of construction eliminates that for the most part. And in 10 years from now, if one of these bolts did come loose, you just pull it out, you put a little Loctite on it and put it back in the hole, and it's good for another decade. It really is a different and more effective way to build in a camper van that's moving all the time. This here is your shower handle hookup. So what you actually have is you got a mixing valve in here for hot and cold, and then your shower handle just plugs right into here. And your shower pan actually sets up right here. And if you notice right down in here, all of the plumbing in this build is inside the van except for one thing, and that's the heated gray water tank. And that is right below this drain basin. So your shower pan sets up here, and then it drains into this drain basin through a one-way valve. So no smell or backwash water can come back into the van. And that gray tank under the van is heated. So this is called the Link sofa. We love the sofa, it's fantastic, but it's not for everybody. Some people need an extra seat that has seat belts. We also offer that in the place of this. It's forward facing. It is FMVSS certified. It has car seat hooks. It's fantastic. And then this lagoon table gets mounted further forward, so you have a nice dinette space to use. When you don't want that bench seat deployed, it actually folds up against the wall and leaves tons of space in the middle of the van as well. The next thing as we move back in the van is this Dometic CFX 545 refrigerator. That's a 45 quart chest fridge. And let me point out a few things I love about it. One, it's at waist level and it's ergonomic. Oftentimes other van companies will put the refrigerator down in the face of the galley or the front of the galley. Now I'm having to get down on my knees to get into that refrigerator. Two, your food is in baskets. So although it does require a little more packing and sometimes some Tetrising, if it shifts while you're going down a washboard road, it's in the basket, no big deal. It's not gonna fall out when you open it. It's very energy efficient. So the compressor in this thing uses very little energy. The walls are very thick on this, on the insulation. And then one of the last things I really love about this thing is that if I am packing my van to the gills, it's super full. I've got a big long surfboard in here or something along those lines, lots of gear just for a temporary. I can still open this thing even if my floor is covered in other stuff. So there's just a lot of benefits to this, and it's super functional in the real world. Hey everybody, my eyes are up here. Let's just start inside this Link at one of the main features that I think you're gonna love. This is a north-south bed. So on a 148 chassis, again, this van is 19 foot 6 inches long, but it has a humongous bed. It's between a queen and a king size. It's 6 foot 6 long and 67 inches wide. You sleep front to back, or what we call north-south, which means you don't have to crawl over your loved one to get out of bed in the middle of the night. As we move further back in the van, you can see here, we have a Murphy bed. Several companies make Murphy beds. Mostly they sleep sideways. Again, to reiterate, we don't sleep sideways. We sleep north-south. Also, cool design. It's a split Murphy bed. So I wouldn't necessarily always face this direction. In this particular situation where we're doing a van tour, this works great. What I would probably do is face that direction, park my van at the beach or some other beautiful place and either do work or have a workbench or a table to eat at with a high stool or something like that. But it also increases your cooking and food prep area by almost double. So you just got a ton of space back here with this split Murphy and makes it really usable and friendly. The other thing I'd like to point out is no gas strut, no complexity, very lightweight aluminum construction, just like all the rest of the structures in the van. Very easy to use. So up above on the microwave cabinet, you'll see our two touch screens. Again, just going back to our processes and our thought processes in designing the Link. We've kept everything very simple. We talked about the analog switches on the front of the galley and just making it so that, I mean, real world is, if something can break, eventually it will break. And so we try to minimize that. So here's most of your control and reporting center. So up above, you have your heater touchscreen. You can see our heater's not on right now. You've got your hot potato you turn on here, and then your faucet that you turn on top of that. This heater's great because the Timberline heater is a hydronic heater. It heats up coolant, takes about 8 to 10 minutes. And then when that coolant is hot, you have instant hot water, so to speak. And usually you can't run enough hot water for the temperature to drop. It's usually a little too hot, and you can easily mix that down with cold water. So it's very, very comfortable. It's fantastic. Just have had such a great experience with that Timberline heater. And it runs right off of your fuel tank. So no extra fuel sources or anything, easy peasy, super simple. And really, it's maintenance free with the exception of one suggestion from Timberline. And that is go out and run it once a month, all year long, whether it's summer or winter, run it for an hour, let it get that fuel going through the fuel line. And other than that, it's pretty maintenance free and very functional in the van. Down below that, you have the next touchscreen, which is our Grit Overland screen here. And there's mostly data being reported here, and we're gonna slide through a few screens. Here is your inverter on off. AC mode or alternating current mode. And we'll just turn that off and show you how that works. And you'll hear a little beep if you could hear the relay turn off, but really simple. That's how you turn your inverter on and off. Reporting data is our fresh water here is showing about 72%. Our wastewater is empty. We emptied it a little while ago. You're also seeing your PV charger photovoltaic, which is your solar. It's getting late in the afternoon. The sun's pretty low in the sky, and so you're getting just 20 watts right now. And I'm gonna slide through here. You just swipe just like a phone. And now this is the screen I really like. It shows you your battery, 98%. It shows you your voltage, 13.3 volts. How much energy is moving, again, is showing your PV charger or solar, 20 watts. But really, that's it. We keep it super simple. We're making it so that you have all the information you need. On the back end, if you want to get more techie into it, yes, you can get apps on your phone and you can Bluetooth into a bunch of stuff inside the box, but not really necessary for use. And just as a reminder, that system charges super fast. It charges in 3 ways off of the dual stock Ford alternators. It also charges off of the solar on top of the van. It comes stock with 200 watts and can be upgraded to 400 watts. The plumbing and wiring is already there. Just have to add the solar panels. And then also, if you're in a place where you can plug in, but honestly, I think about 90% of our owners don't use that because it just charges so efficiently and so well. All right, so moving back on the passenger side, as you can see, this butcher block goes all the way to the back. Super cool, it's beautiful, adds a nice soft touch to the van. You've got your max air fan remote to control your max air fan up here. Also, you can do that manually as well. You've got a 110 outlet, 2 12-volt outlets, and then your heater temperature probe as well. As we move back, there's a couple things I want to point out here. A nice microwave, super easily accessible right over the top here. You've got lights for when you're in the bed or doing prep on the countertop. We've already talked about the fabric on the walls, but let's spend a couple seconds talking about the insulation system behind the walls. I urge you to jump into one of our other videos that talks specifically about this more in depth because there's a lot of technology behind what we put back there. I want to just mention briefly that there's about 5 inches of insulation on either side of the bed because we have a north-south bed, which means climate control inside this van is way easier. So right up here, we've got a 12-volt AC unit from Dometic, and that actually, even though it's only about 7,000 BTU, cools this van in very high heat very well. We did a whole video on it. Go on our YouTube channel and check out that video so you can see that test and see how well that actually performs. I'm just gonna say bluntly, it's because of the insulation. It's a good AC unit, it's reliable, but the insulation that we've put into this van is what makes the climate control so good in very, very cold and very, very hot temps. Moving backward, you also have, again, that same marine plastic carried through to the back of the van for storage cubbies. You're gonna see my clothes in here, but this is 2 weeks worth of clothes. And I like to point that out because I'm not gonna show you my son's cubby. If you have a son, you understand why. But really, truly, this cabinet is bigger than it looks, and it actually carries a ton of stuff in it, or can hold a ton of stuff. And I'll just point this out and get a little silly for a second. All aluminum wrapped in fabric, so it has a nice soft touch and it stays warm. That's the beauty of aluminum framing, aluminum infrastructure, and just a high quality built cabinet. Last thing to talk about in this space are these little windows. They are so awesome. People ask us all the time, why not do a bigger window? Let in more light. I also love light. That's why we do the nice bright fabric and put windows everywhere else. But I want to point this out for a reason. This is a dual pane acrylic window, so it insulates really well. The other reason we've done it is it has a couple of positions for locking. You can lock it closed, or you can lock it halfway so it lets a breeze in. You've got built-in shade, built-in bug screens, and you can have it open in the rain. Just a really, really fantastic window. The question we always get, again, like coming back to it, is why not make the window bigger? There actually is a method to this madness. In this wall that you can't see, there is steel structure that supports the long sheet metal panel. And the problem is, when you cut those structures out, you get wobbling and shaking in that steel. So by only putting in a smaller window, it actually keeps the structure in the van, it keeps it really robust, and therefore you don't get that wobbling and that noise that will often happen in other camper vans where they've cut out and made a much bigger window. I'll also point out that this window is mirror image on the 2026 model, so it's on the driver's side as well, so you get nice flow for both people in that bed. So next thing, moving back toward the end of the van, is I'll point out in this compartment here is your 22-gallon freshwater tank. Again, this van is fully insulated before we put anything in it, but on top of that, your freshwater tank, all of the tubes inside here for the most part get insulated as well with pipe cover, so that if we think of energy as a currency, and if we're having to spend energy to heat up water, let's keep it as hot as long as we can. So we just take the initiative and we put insulation on those pipes, as well as the insulation that's already in the walls. Just to give you a real world example of that, we've had this van down to negative 21 degrees in Alberta. I shouldn't say we, our customer did, 40-mile-an-hour winds. And he called us from the van and just wanted to thank us because it was 70 inside the van and they were wearing shorts and t-shirts. So that's like a 90-degree temperature swing. This van is very, very well insulated, and it's 4-season for sure. Also, we've had it up to like 111 degrees, and we're able to keep it comfortable inside the van as well with the AC unit and the insulation package. So on the back of the plumbing box here, we have a couple of things I'd like to point out. Just move this. This is a supply kit that comes with the van. It has your pressure regulator in it. It's got your shower handle. That shower handle is used for the outdoor shower and also for the indoor shower. And then a few other things for blowing out and winterizing the van with an air compressor. So we've just provided some things that make life better right from the beginning, so you're not getting just having to add things over and over and over right at the beginning. Here, outdoor shower, you have a water pump switch. You have a water pump switch in the front as well, so you can turn your water pump on from the sink area or here while you're taking an outdoor shower. And then you have a 4-way valve here. So when you're doing tank fill, you just turn that guy down to there. You've got a winterized setting, a city fixture so you can bypass your system just like you're hooked up to city water in a house. And then when you want to use your pump, just twist it over to onboard. Super simple system. Again, the other thing I'll point out while we're here is all of the plumbing fixtures or hardware inside the van, all the joints, the T's and the elbows, they're all brass right from the beginning. It's all PEX plumbing. We just figured you might as well do it the right way. It's going to be the most freeze resistant if we're human and we make a mistake and leave some water in it. And it's just also more durable for when the van is vibrating and shaking. Obviously you can see this is a Ford Transit. It is an all-wheel drive and EcoBoost, as are all of our vans that we build and push out the door. This has a front end camera. It also has the HID headlights with the halo on them, which are sweet. Again, to go through some of the Ford features, you've got adaptive cruise control, blind spot assist, lane assist. It's all around pretty much a loaded chassis. You've got stock fog lights. You have side cameras. You have 360 cameras from Ford. Again, that blind spot notification, which is super nice in the mirror, and also you've got your blinkers out here on the mirror as well. Every van from us comes stock with a snow-rated all-terrain tire and a Method race wheel for high-quality on-road and off-road performance. You've got stock running boards that are extended down the passenger side and for the driver door as well. They're nice and wide for a big foot as well, so you guys with size 11 clod hoppers can also get in and out of this van without tripping pretty easily. If you look up on the van, you'll notice that we put on a high-quality Fiamma F45S manual awning. We don't mess around with the electronic awnings. They've had too much of a long history of failure points and issues. This takes about 2 minutes to put out. It's super durable, super reliable, and also it comes attached to a Flatline Van Company low pro rack, which is high quality as well. On top of the van comes standard with 200 watts of solar, and it's already got the wire plumbed in to add an extra 200 watts for a total of 400 watts of solar. You have a max fan on top, and you have a Dometic RTX 2000 air conditioner as well. And let me just show you, you've also got recessed lighting. So if you want that ambient light in the evening, reflecting off of your awning. One other thing I love to point out is I've got the key fob in my pocket here. I really love this feature, and this comes on all of our Ford chassis. I can lock the van with a push of a button or simply unlock as well. Really like that feature. On the driver door, you also have keyless entry. So each of these vans comes with a specific code to your van, so you can lock your keys in, and if you're out in the water playing, now you have a keyed entry code that you can actually set to yours. Continuing back, you've got some Grit Overland vinyl on the rocker panel to keep it from getting rock chips. As you can see, we're putting that to the test right now. You also have your plumbing drain guillotine valve here, and then the gray water tank empties on the driver's side. Continuing back again, you've got some, as you can see, we're also putting it to the test on this demo van, some vinyl, and this is why we put this vinyl on here, you guys. Not everybody sees this. Sometimes we get the question, yeah, but doesn't that defeat the purpose of insulating so well and having a light colored van? This is my point, pinstriping. We put black vinyl on here, it's protecting it, and it looks good. Of course, you've got your awning style bunk windows for ventilation, the logo on there, and then you've got a 110 outlet on the outside of the van here. So if you want to use your induction cooktop or charge some e-bikes or anything else on the outside of the van with your inverter. Continuing around, again, pointing out this is an all-wheel drive EcoBoost motor. This is a tried and true motor. It's been in the F-150 since 2012. It is a high quality, well-used motor, and it's proving itself to do just as well in the Ford Transit. All of our chassis are a 350, so you've got your highest payload capacity available on the Ford Transit as well. You have your water fill port and your city water fill port as well. Again, reiterating what I said earlier in the tour, this also comes with the pressure regulator valve and also a Schrader valve to blow out and winterize your van with an air compressor. As we continue forward, again, vinyl, and then this nice stainless steel high quality smart plug as a shore power plug. That is a 30 amp plug for any of your RV or campgrounds if that's your desired place to hang out. And also we supply the cable to go with the van. You guys, this is seriously a high quality chassis. We're building a really, really high quality van. This could be your link to your next great adventure. It is a fantastic van, it's well built, and you've got some amazing features that Ford includes on here. We hope you've enjoyed this tour, and check out our other videos, and please like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can get more of our content as it comes out.